They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and this wedding picture, like any other, speaks volumes about love and commitment, shared hopes and dreams, plans for the future, and promises for better or for worse. But in the case of Arline and Jerry, some words are worth 1,000 pictures, because so much of their story unfolded through words. It was January 1951 when 17-year-old Arline Furman of Boston went to visit cousins in St. Louis. Determined to show Arline a good time, the cousins had arranged for several young men to accompany her to various events. And on Friday night, the lucky guy was Jerry Polinsky, a senior at Washington University, who dutifully took the out-of-towner to a Wash U basketball game. "He's a handsome boy," Arline would write in her diary later that night. "Very intelligent looking and tall, wore a gray cashmere sweater and looked scrumptious." "He likes me," she correctly ascertained. The next night, Jerry paid her a visit. "We talked and talked," she wrote in her diary. "Boy, can he talk." 10 days later, when Arline was preparing to return to Boston, her diary entry told of Jerry's farewell visit. "He brought me a delicious box of special chocolates and a big picture of himself. I was so surprised. He's very nice. Maybe if I had stayed longer, I would have begun to love him." 10 days was enough for Jerry. He was smitten. And so began an exchange of letters, hundreds of letters that went back and forth between Arline and Jerry for years, punctuated by occasional visits that led Jerry to fall even more deeply in love. When it came time for him to serve in the Army, Jerry continued his correspondence with Arline until she broke his heart by becoming engaged to someone else. All correspondence ceased. Then came the most life-changing letter Jerry would ever receive. "Dear Jerry, it's quite awkward writing you at this time," began Arline, who went on to explain that she had broken off her engagement due to too many doubts. She concluded her letter with, "I wonder if it would be possible for us to continue our friendship as before." Then, with hope in her heart, she sent the letter off to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, where Jerry had been stationed when they last exchanged letters. Unfortunately, Jerry had been transferred to Fort Hood, Texas 5 months earlier. Fortunately, the Army forwarded letters up to 6 months after a transfer. It just took a while. With joy filling his heart once again, Jerry resumed his correspondence with Arline, writing letter after letter until his service to his country was fulfilled and he could finally travel to Boston. In his last letter to her from Fort Hood, on the eve of his trip, he wrote, "Well, how do I feel as I approach the end of what for me has been 4 years of thinking, 2 years of hoping, and 6 months of waiting? I feel somewhere between wonderful and the next phase up from there." Then he added that the whole experience has taught me that worthwhile things are worth waiting for and that my greatest ambitions cannot be fulfilled without a maximum effort. His effort paid off. Arline and Jerry were engaged shortly thereafter, and this time Arline had no doubts at all. And so the Furman family of Boston was forever linked to the Polinsky family of St. Louis through the marriage of Arline and Jerry on December 26, 1955. You wouldn't think 60 years could fly by, but they do, when those years are filled with happiness and love and family. First, Nancy came along, then her baby sister Joanna, and all the playmates who accompanied them. Joanna cooked and baked for her parents from an early age, hosting tea parties for them and birthday dinners, while Jerry continued to profess his love for Arline in writing every Valentine's Day. When the family moved to Iowa, he wrote that he was enough of a hog to want you all to myself. When they relocated to the South, his Valentine from the heart of Dixie was drawn as a map of South Care Arline. After Arline became an interior designer, Jerry created a Valentine floor plan for a love nest accessed by the door to his heart and featuring a modern sculpture he created titled Head Over Heels in Love with You. The years passed, their love grew stronger, and life was sweet, because through both milestone events and the simple pleasures of everyday life, they remained in tandem. And the Valentines kept coming, with their silly but sincere words of love. When Nancy was applying to colleges, Jerry donned the hat of Director of Admissions at Loveland College, administering an SAT test that included the math question, if Jerry is 10 miles from Arline and proceeds towards her at the rate of 100 feet per minute, when will he reach her? Answer, not soon enough. While Joanna was spending a semester in London, Jerry's Valentine was a tribute to Arline I, Queen of his Heart, and it featured such landmarks as the Tower of London, where he lost his head over her. And when Nancy became a television reporter, Jerry's TV reporter Valentine noted that Arline turned him on every night at 6 and 11. The days continued to pass, anniversaries came and went, and then one wedding and another, as David and Eli joined the family. But there's no joy like the joy of grandparenthood, or so we're told, and Arline and Jerry have relished that role, doting on their 3 grandsons. Of course, the birth of the first grandchild was reflected in Jerry's next Valentine, featuring baby-related hearts, like one that was hugely pregnant, and another one after the bris. And the sweet, silly annual expressions of love kept on coming. When Newt Gingrich established the Republican contract with America, Jerry issued his own, noting who was Speaker and listener of the House. His Valentine from the heart of South Florida, signed Geraldo, included the keys to his heart, which to this day are held only by Arline, the visitor from Boston that he dutifully took on a date oh so many years ago. They'll both tell you it's been a wonderful ride these past 60 years, a partnership in the truest sense of the word, with family at the heart of it all and love holding everyone together. Their home is filled with photos of those near and dear to them, some now departed, others just forging their futures. And tucked away in shoeboxes, yellowed with age, are letters, words of love that tell the story of Arline and Jerry.